So, welcome back, children. As we were last time discussing about the telephonic interview, and there were few clouds of question that if I am taking a telephonic interview and at the same time I have some backup work, how should I be prioritizing my call, or should it be the right time that I am taking the call? So here I would be taking you through a small journey which only focuses on certain specifications which are needed to be kept in mind when we are taking a telephonic interview. As you can see the picture itself and describe, you would see the body language of the individual taking the call is composed where the hands are rested on a table. Alongside, the caller is also carrying his own CV in hand to ensure that whatever he is speaking should be in sync with whatever he has displayed in his professional profile. Then even, please keep in mind, it should not be sounding as if you are just relaying your CV. It is just for your own referral in order to ensure that you are not deviating anything from the tracks that you have presented. Children, let's come to the telephonic interview conditions. There are certain do's and don'ts that we need to keep in mind. Whenever we take a telephonic interview or a telephonic call where there is a cross questioning that has to be happened, and we know that it is a part of my screening, we need to always open the call with a greeting. The call opening as well as the call closing should be with a greeting. There are variants. The call opening should always be good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as in a matter of fact, whatever time of the day it is. By default, any business call will only happen during the morning or the noon time, not in the evening time. The form of the language that you have to use during a telephonic call should be strictly formal. There should not be any other parlance other than formal. When I say other parlance, that means well, like, so. These are certain fillers that we normally use in our normal conversations, which are strictly to be avoided when we are talking on a telephonic interview or formally on a professional call. The pronunciation should be clear. Now, how would we ensure the pronunciation is clear? Please do not race when you are talking over the telephone. You need to understand that the person cannot see you physically. However, the person can trace you out through your flow of speech, whether you are taking the call in which format, right? Take time, have proper air in your lungs when you're speaking, speak clear, don't race, you will not mumble. Then, following forward, whenever you are taking a telephonic call, you must carry a pen and a paper in hand. Why you should carry a pen and a paper in hand? Because there can be certain things that they are asking and you need to jot down. The question length can even be at times pretty big, and in order to understand the question better, it is always safe to jot it down. Do not race to answer. It has normally been observed that whenever a question comes to you, you go impromptu. Please take a 30-second pause to reanalyze the question and then give an answer. You are not racing. Please ensure that you are not racing. Another thing, whenever you are taking an interview call over the telephone, please carry your CV handy with yourself because it will help you recall. There are situations that if I ask you at random something, you might not be able to recall the exact thing. So this will always help you and aid you as a reference material. There is something which I have used. Never use casual parlance. There are something where I have observed a casual way of addressing that, yeah, folks, so casual parlance like guys. Please avoid using anything like this. Use the formal verbiages which are needed. During the call, your body posture matters a lot. When you are sitting at a 90-degree angle, elevated and assertive with the body language, which is assertive by nature, say for example this, where you are slightly elevated on the desk, you would see your profile would automatically affect your voice tone and quality, and your answers and your tone would sound professional. This is a very important must. Second, please keep a smile when you are answering. When you keep a smile when you are answering, you can automatically, that resonance can impact to a confident way of talking to the other person who is listening you through a call. Third thing, please avoid anything in and around which might distract your attention. Because the moment if anything is like that, it would hamper the flow of your speech. So it is always advisable that when you are taking a telephonic call, sit in a peaceful, closed environment where there is no disturbances, posture yourself in the right manner, use a professional decorum so that your flow of speech also gets influenced with your attire as well as your body language. I have written the 7th point, which is the most important point, which is called verbal nods. Now children, we need to understand, in a telephonic call, there are a lot of dead airs. What are dead airs? When we are quietly listening and not responding at all. So maybe the caller might feel that you are not at all listening, or maybe you've put the call on a mute, or maybe you've put the call on a hold, and this is disrespectful. So you need to ensure that when you are over a call, there are some verbal nods like okay, right, correct. These are some positive verbal nods, but don't overdo it also. Please do understand that verbal nods are required, but it should not be also done over. Say for example, if the interviewer is giving you a long question, say you are sitting, I'm giving you a question. You are sitting in an enclosed environment where you have 10 people who are reporting to you. Out of the 10, 5 are already on some other project aligned, due to which they are not completely working with your project. You are remaining with 5. So, in those 5, how would you divide the task when one person is arrogant, the other person is casual, the third person is very sensitive, the fourth person is frequently on leave, and the fifth person is you? Now, this can be a long question. How would you segregate? While you are listening, the verbal nods are required to ensure that you have heard correctly, as well as you will use your pen and notepad to jot down so that you are not missing on any of the information before you reframe your solution and get the answer. So I guess these are certain elements. I would love if you have any point of doubt, you may come up with your questions so that we can have a better understanding of each other's clarity.